Hey, it's your girl, Nat Bullen, back again for another training where today we're going to talk about, is your offer unsellable? So, my goal for our time together today is to go through three things. One, how do you know if your offer is doing what it intends to do? Is it for the right people or not? How can you diagnose that? Two, what does brand positioning do in general with your business offer? And then three, what do you do if you figure out that your offer is not aligned? All right. In case you are new here, I'm Nat Bullen. I own Unapologetic Wealth, a coaching and consulting firm that helps business owners just like you create and sustain and grow high revenue businesses so that you, the founder, can create personal and generational wealth. I went from being a financial advisor to a revenue and wealth coach to help entrepreneurs do the thing that they want to do, get paid really well, take more time off, and build unapologetic wealth. So, this is by high demand. I've had a lot of people ask me specifically around offer. So, I'm excited to be able to do this training today to really talk through this because I feel like it's really common that I will meet people who are like, Natalie, my offer isn't selling, my offer hasn't sold. And I think there's a lot of reasons for this, and we'll tap into those at present. But if you're watching this right now, put in the comment if you have ever or are currently experiencing an offer that's not selling well. If so, put a one in the chat. Put a one in the chat or in the comments if you have an offer or had an offer that just did not sell well. It didn't sell as well as you thought. It was hard to describe. It just, you thought it was a great offer, but people weren't interested. I think it's important for us to recognize that our money mindset is always at play. And this is a sales training, so I'm not going to get deep into the woo stuff today. But I want you to keep in mind that what you may feel like is a lot of money might not be a lot of money to other people. And often there's an audience price offer mismatch. And that is what creates the issue with making your offer hard to sell. Okay. There are three sectors of people who it's going to be hard for you to sell an offer to. The number one segment of people, the one that folks want to help so bad, is brand new business owners. Brand new business owners are an incredibly difficult niche. I don't mean they're making 100K a year. I mean brand new. I'm talking somebody who's never had a client, never made a sale, never made a dollar. That person. And I find that a lot of times people want to serve that person because they remember when they were brand new. They remember when they didn't have any clients. They remember when they didn't have any money. And they wish that this program had existed for them at the time. Here is the problem with building something that you wish you had had way back when. Way back when, you didn't have no money. So you're building out this high ticket offer for people, 5K, 10K, 15K, but they're at the beginning of their journey. When you're at the beginning of your journey, you're not very confident that you're going to be able to get to the next step. So the level that you're willing to invest is going to be lower unless you have that confidence. Now, my very first coaching program was $10,000, but I had a lot of confidence. Why? I had been on Clubhouse and I had already attracted thousands of leads. I was selling something directly in my wheelhouse that was very similar to what I did in my corporate job. And I'm a very confident, self assured person by nature. So it's not unreasonable that a person like me would make their very first investment of $10,000. But I'm also a person who's upper middle class. I'm also a person with strong personal savings. And I'm also a person with great personal credit. So you don't know that the people you sell to meet all of those criteria when you go build this offer. The second group of people are folks who are burnout, tired, exhausted, people who are past their breaking point, burning the candle at both ends, busy as hell, wore out, mother of six, struggling. That kind of rhetoric, the broke, busted, disgusted crowd. Folks love to make offers for broke, busted, disgusted. They market to broke, busted, disgusted. Here's the thing. Broke, busted, disgusted can't pay you. And their nervous system is so dysregulated that they probably shouldn't, even if they could come up with the cash. The third segment of person that is really difficult to sell and offer to are people who prefer done for you if you offer a DIY or done with you type service. So people who want it done for them are not usually a good fit for coaching only. Now, if you're coaching them and you have something in conjunction where they can get some done for you support, I know Dr. Avis has a program like that where it's not just pure coaching. You get in the program and you also get some done for you components. I see that kind of mistake all the time where we're trying to convince people who want you to do it for them. No, 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 you want to do it yourself. No, I don't. So what happens when you have an offer audience mismatch, in addition to not selling anything, you don't get the data that you need. And I'm flummoxed at how many people just refuse to do market research. But I just need to shout this from the rooftop. Stop creating offers that ain't nobody tell you they want it. Like, make people tell you they want the program before you create the program. I'm creating my program, New Money. It's for affluent business owners who want to take their high revenue businesses and create wealth. I've had a wait list. I've done some questionnaires, and now we're doing a focus group. A focus group of people who are qualified. We want them to show up, and we're going to get them to talk for 45 minutes about the issues that they are facing in terms of building wealth. Why is wealth important to them, etc., etc. What would they pay? Can they travel for the culmination of the program? I am determined to not launch something that nobody wants. I remember I had a referral, and I met with the prospect, and he had a beautiful website. The website was phenomenal. The copy was beautiful. Really refined offer suite, had 3 different tiers, and I was very impressed. And so I was like, hey, it looks like you got it going on. What's the problem? And he's like, none of these offers have ever sold to anyone ever. I'm like, oh, so why have you invested so much time in them? Because it was evident to me that lots of time and lots of money had been invested in building these offers, writing copies for these offers, getting them on a website, having SEO. Why would you do all that? No one asked for this. I'm like, do you have prospects that you can sell this to? No, not yet. What are we talking about? Why would you spend all that money? You don't even know if anybody wants it. So, like, sometimes we have an ego issue. We're like, this is the thing I want to sell, not this is the thing people want to buy. And there's a difference. There's a difference between my audience wants to buy this and I personally want to sell it. Hopefully you find something that meets both parameters, but in the meantime, you have to make sure that what you're selling is of interest to your audience. And you might find that the audience you have ain't the audience you want if you want to build out this program for whatever reason. All right. The second part of what I want to talk about today is around cost, because I see this happen a lot. I see people charging high ticket to help a very beginner crowd get an advanced result. And I just want to let you know that that doesn't work. So if I wanted to run a marathon, I don't, by the way, but let's say I wanted to run a marathon, right? I am an obese person. I am 230 pounds. You might not be able to tell I'm 230 pounds. I'm 230 pounds, okay? I'm not a fit person. I'm not a thin person. I'm not a runner by any stretch of the imagination. So there's no way that I would pay today's dollar for a marathon training program. Because I got to get to a baseline of fitness before I start running anybody 26.2 miles. So I would pay for a baseline fitness. Yes, I would pay for a nutritionist. Yes, I would pay for a health coach. Absolutely. But I would never get in a program right now to help me run a marathon because I'm not at the level of fitness to be successful in that program. That's what a lot of y'all do. Y'all have $10,000 programs for brand new people so they can make 6 figures, or so they can lose 100 pounds, or so they can some lofty goal. Break that down into phases, and each phase might need to be a program. For instance, I have two separate programs around wealth building. One of them is Birthright. Birthright is 5K a year or 1,500 a quarter or 525 a month. And it is a wealth foundation programs where we teach you the money mindset you need for success, financial foundations like forecasting, budgeting, and planning. We also cover your cash flow, make sure you're paying yourself enough, and we help you save your first $5,000 to $10,000. That is the outcome of Birthright. New money is once you've already done all of those things, and now you're ready because you've got your savings and you've got your credit and you got your foundations, you have a CPA. Now you're ready to actually start building wealth. Imagine if I would have tried to put those programs together and sell people into a $15,000 program that at some point in the future was going to help them create wealth. Well, but if my average client in Birthright has credit card debt, doesn't have stellar credit, doesn't have a CFO, hasn't ever done forecasting or budgeting or planning, and doesn't spend mindfully, how am I going to get them that outcome? How long is it going to take? I split the programs on purpose. That's what you might need to do. A lot of times I see one program trying to do a whole lot. And that's why I say it's either a money mindset thing or it's a lack of experience thing, because people who spend a lot of money are usually trying to get one solution. I will spend a lot of money to get one solution. I don't like when you try to get me 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 multiple solutions in one offer. I get confused and none of them get done. If you try to chase 2 rabbits, you lose both of them. You try to chase 2 rabbits, you will lose both rabbits. So a lot of y'all chasing too many rabbits, and then you wonder why your clients don't get success into your programs. If no one's ever bought your program, that's a red flag. That means nobody wanted it. And if nobody wanted it, why did you build it? The goal of your business is to make money. And you do that by creating offers that build on desires that already exist or problems that already exist. Stop trying to make new problems for your audience. They already have problems. Figure out what they are and build something that solves it. The people who follow me already want to build wealth. And they're either in camp A, I have no clue what I'm doing, and I'm not feeling in control of my money, and I need to get that tight. Or I'm making globs of money. I got free cash. I got 50K I could invest right now. I just don't know what to do with it. Notice I didn't go trying to solve a problem nobody ever told me. There's a reason why I don't have an options and trading program, because nobody in my audience is like, you know what I want to do with my free time? I want to sit and look at charts and learn how to trade options. Now, I probably will partner with my homeboy, Noble Woods, to bring that to you all. We just haven't figured out if it's a masterclass or a course or what have you. But me, Unapologetic Wealth, having a sole offer on that, no, it wouldn't make sense, because that has not been a desire that's been expressed or a problem that's been expressed in my audience. All right. 2, you got to make sure the money makes sense. So like, I'll meet people who want to be fractional C-suite, which I won't say I'm against it, but I think there's a very rare circumstance where you need to be a fractional anything in somebody's business that's making less than $1 million or $2 million a year. And I'll see people who will say, I'm a fractional COO, but their criteria is that the business be making $250K a year. But if they're making $250K a year, they're still figuring stuff out, respectfully. And $250K a year is not as much as you think it is. So if you got a retainer for your COO that's $3K a month or $5K a month, which is reasonable, I've seen it before. You want me to pay you $5K a month? That's $60,000 a year. How am I going to pay you $60,000 a year when the business only makes $250,000 a year? I still got to pay myself. I still got to pay my team. I still got to pay for software and taxes and profit. How can I pay that? And this is why you'll see a lot of people in the bubble, they're screwed because they have so many people who are pulling their retainers. Newsflash, if your client had to go from paying you $5K to paying you $0, they could never afford your service. Let me try that again. If your client had to go from paying you $10K or $8K or $5K a month to $0, they could never afford the service. you likely were not selling high enough in the market. And some of this has to do with exposure. I think women in general are just not exposed to higher earning businesses. That's why it's so important to get in circles with men. Obviously, men you trust, but to talk to men, because men own businesses, make more money, and they're exposed to people who are at a higher level and are doing different things for you to be able to get some ideas off of. A business doing 250K does not need, most likely, a fractional anything. But yet I see so many women out selling these fractional services. And I'm like, you're in a ticking time bomb. You're trying to sell $5, $6, $10,000 a month service to a business that's only doing 25. So as soon as they have one bad month, they're kicking you off. Why not sell to a business that's doing $1 or $2 or $3 million a year, that's already got their sales mechanism dialed in? I'll meet people who will say, "Oh, Natalie, I stopped doing retainer service because I ended up having to do too much work. I was having to write their copy. I was running their whole business for that 5K a year, 5K a month." Well, yeah, because you were taking a third of their revenue every month. Of course, you're running the whole business because you didn't target the right kind of person. I think we also need to recognize that earlier businesses don't have the cash. So, like, I find that a lot of people try to sell based on gross revenue. And I get it. You don't know your prospect's profit. So it's hard for you to say, well, Natalie does 500K top line, but maybe there's only 50K left after she pays everything. So she probably can't pay my service. That's not what happened. People hear Natalie made 500K last year, and they're like, oh, she could pay 5K a month. Based on what, though? Based on what? Paying you 5K a month will be 12% of my annual revenue. And I can tell you that it is atypical for a mature firm to spend 12% of their revenue on payroll for one fractional person. That's not normal. So this is what I'm saying. You really have to understand who you're selling to and what they have. Because sometimes the price doesn't make sense. The math is not mathing. All right. This goes back to my next point, which is around your brand positioning. So there are people who will pay you $1,000 to solve a problem, and then they'll run into someone else and pay them 10K. It's in how their brand is positioned. And I am not a brand strategist, but I do have a very strong personal brand. And my personal brand exudes, this ain't cheap. People don't step to me thinking I'm going to speak at their events for free, or I'm going to travel to them for free, or I'm going to coach them for the low. Nobody thinks that about me. And so I find that if your brand positioning is not strong, it can be hard to sell any offer. We're coming off of that COVID high where anybody could sell anything at any price. People have been burned. People are getting more savvy. People's businesses are getting more mature. People who started their business in 2020 and 2021, if they're still in business, are coming into year 4 or year 5. And I find that the people who are left are getting savvier about how they position themselves in their business. So if you do not have strong public perception about who you are or your brand or what you stand for, if your message is not strong, you're going to find it hard to sell any offer, especially an offer that is vague or missing components. Okay. So for me, my message has been, my message has been steadfast. I've had the same message since I started my business. Put more money in your hand. If you're a woman or if you're a person of color, especially, but to put more money in your hand, to take the money from your business and make you wealthy. That's always been what unapologetic wealth has stood for. Always. Always. We don't waver. But a lot of y'all, we don't know what you stand for. We don't believe you. You need more people. You flitter. You sell whatever you think is cute. You post whatever you think will get views. That whole shit posting thing was real cute, posting memes and stuff. Your page has no substance. So people don't know what you stand for, and that can make it really hard for you to sell your offer. Part of your branding is your positioning and your goodwill and your reputation. I may not be perfect as an entrepreneur, but I have a good reputation. I have a good reputation. When you talk to my clients, they don't tell you, oh, I paid Natalie and Natalie wasn't around. Oh, I sent Natalie Voxers and she ignored me for a week. Oh, I paid Natalie $10,000 and she acted like she didn't care about me. I love on my clients. I love my clients. I do right by my clients. If you buy something from me and you feel like you didn't get what you paid for, I will make it right. If it was coaching, I'll coach you until you feel like you got what you paid for. If it was a masterclass, I'll refund you. If it was a course, I will do a one-time call. I'm not the type of person that takes complaints and just say, oh, that's on you. I have a strong brand reputation, and that helps. So some of you all don't have a reputation of selling the thing you're trying to sell. So you're like, you got your audience going, is this for me? When they start doing that. And like, I get it. It's okay to pivot. Don't let me tell you not to pivot, but you have to be realistic in terms of what your sales are going to be if you know that you pivot every other month. If you always selling something different, you always selling something new, you always got something going on, you bicker in the comments, you're mean and nasty and rude. There's a coach that I will never buy from again because I don't like the way that she shows up online. I don't like how she treats people. She's a bully, and I don't appreciate that. And I don't want people thinking I'm affiliated with somebody who acts out on the internet like that. Because I don't like even being in that energy. Right? So what do you do if you realize that your offer is misaligned? You're listening to this and you like, damn, that's me. My offer is not the right price. My offer is not for the right crowd. My offer does not solve the right problem. I built it out of ego. I didn't ask nobody. I didn't do a focus group. I didn't do no market research. I didn't check my data. I didn't make any Facebook posts. I felt God led me to it and I created it and now it's out here. So here are some things that you can do to try to salvage the offer. First things first, you got to look at your forecast and budgeting and see if this is a crisis or not. If you got cash in the bank, if you got other offers that sell and you're just trying to get this offer, that's okay. You may be able to finesse the offer. You know, if you sold it to anybody, ask them why did they buy it. If you had prospects who were interested but didn't buy, ask them why didn't they buy it. I'm pretty sure I sent out an email on for Birthright to my entire list. It's like, hey, we had a launch. You didn't buy. Why? So that I could get some intel. And some people said they didn't have the money. Some people said they were already working with a financial advisor, which is completely useless because a financial advisor wouldn't be doing your forecasting and budgeting for your business. So that gave me some insight that I had marketed this incorrectly, that this person thought that my program competed with having a financial advisor. So, you know, asking, like doing some market research now, it's better. It's kind of like a prenup. It's better to get a prenup, but if you already married and you realize you need some extra protection, you could get a post-nuptial agreement. It's kind of like that. So if you've already launched the offer, you should have done market research up front, but it ain't too late. You could still do some market research, surveys, questionnaires, polls, focus groups, data. You need something to figure out why people aren't buying this, and if you just need to tweak the offer itself or if you need to tweak how it's positioned. When Birthright first came out, I had mispositioned it. I positioned it as money mindset primarily. And I had a lot of prospects tell me, Natalie, I just don't know what to do with my money. I don't know how to budget. I don't know how much I should pay myself. I don't know if I have enough in savings. I'm just not taking good care of the money that comes in my business. So at the end of the year, it's all gone. And I'm like, oh, there's financial management modules in Birthright. And they're like, oh, I ain't know, you ain't tell me. So it wasn't that the offer was wrong. I just needed to position it better and I needed to showcase all what was in it. So that might be one thing that could work for you. You could easily just be like, okay, well, I know what I need to do now. I need to change the positioning. Okay. If you need this offer to sell right now, though, I would reach out to people who've bought anything from you. Who's bought your private programs? You do private coaching, private consulting, you know, who has bought your past group coaching programs? Who's ever bought anything from you? And see, would they be interested in this offer? Do they know someone who'd be interested in this offer? Do they have this problem? Right? It's easier to sell offers that solve problems that people already know that they have. A lot of times we try to create offers that try to illuminate new problems that people have. It don't work like that. I don't want you trying to convince me that I have a problem. I already know I have problems. Solve the problems I already know that I have. So you might have to change your content strategy to illuminate, hey, this actually does solve a problem that you already have, right? So I just went natural not very long ago, a couple years ago. I've been relaxed since I was 8. That was in 1996 until February of 2022, my birthday, my 35th birthday. Yeah. So I'm very new to the natural hair game. I'm very new, right? So I knew I had a problem. I knew that I had multiple textures in my head. I had no clue how to do my hair, and I had no product for natural hair. I already knew what my problem was. So it was very easy for Taraji P. Henson and Rihanna and Tracy Ellis Ross to get money from me because I already knew what my problem was. If I was still relaxed, there's no way that those people would have been able to talk me. Well, one day you're going to go natural and then you'll need my product. Well, then I'll buy your product one day. Like, I don't need it right now. So sometimes we're trying to convince people into tomorrow's problem. Hey, I know you don't write copy at all. I know you don't launch right now, but I'm a launch strategist. So buy my launch package. Why would I buy a launch package if I don't launch? So then you get online and try to convince people that they should be launching. Why? Why not just sell to people who already launch? They already exist. So like a lot of times it's the content strategy that's there, right? All right. Now I'm going to get to the elephant in the room before I wrap this up. The elephant in the room is that your offer might be fine. You just don't tell no damn body about it. The most irritating thing that happens on the internet is when I get a little money. When I get a little money and I make a post that sounds like, if I had 1,000 or 5,000 or 10,000 to invest in your business today, what could I buy from you? Because every time I make a post like that, people come out the woodworks to sell something. People come up with offers I ain't never heard about in my life. Those posts will have 200 comments on it of people trying to sell me into whatever they thing is. Now, after that day, they don't never post about it again. That offer don't make an appearance but once a year when Natalie makes a post and says, I got some money and I'm willing to spend it. What can I buy? That's crazy. Why folks post all their sales content on my page? Do that on your page too. Like, you can't say you actively tried to sell something if you never posted, you never ran ads, you never had a proper sales page for it, you never drove traffic to that sales page, you never emailed your list, you don't have a list. Did you really try to sell it? Like, if 1,000 people haven't seen this offer, you didn't really try to sell it. If 500 people didn't see, you didn't really try to sell it. Like, when I go on ThriveCart and I look at my logistics, and I look at my like statistics for all of my offers, that's one of the things that I check. You know, I'm moving back my live event because I really just didn't have a lot of interest in it. People said that it was a conflicting date and et cetera, et cetera. But when I look at my live event, it only had 182 cart views. That's not very many. It's not very surprising that the offer didn't sell if it only got 182 people who ever looked at it. That's not a lot of people. So, you know, most of the time we just aren't doing the work to get it in front of enough people. And then we say, ain't nobody ever sell it. Ain't nobody ever buy it. Because you ain't tell nobody. Nobody knows your offer exists. I like to joke, it's a half joke, that people be closing the cart and we ain't know the cart was open. You got a cart closed day. You like, cart closed today, baby. What offer is it? I ain't know nothing about it. What is the secret? It's like y'all be trying to sell mystery offers or something. I don't know what that is that makes people be like, I'm going to hide this offer and talk about it as less as possible. But I'm also going to bitch when nobody buys it. You can't have it both ways. Either you tried to sell it or you didn't. Either you put it out there or you didn't. And to me, I think a good frame for you selling something on social media, 1,000 people need to see it. 1,000 people. I think that's a really good baseline of like how many folks you want to have that like saw it completely. Like when I look at Messaging That Sells, which was a great program, it's like $4,000, I think. When I look at the total funnel traffic for the year, I'm looking at it right now. I had 1,941 people who viewed that Thrivecart page. And it converted at about 2%, and we made about $28,000. 1,900 people. So if 1,900 people have seen your offer and nobody bought it, it's absolutely the offer and the audience. Like you have an offer audience mismatch 100%. But if only 50 people have seen this offer, then was it that the offer didn't sell, or was it that you didn't sell it? And like there's always people who tell me, oh, I don't talk about my offer enough. I don't talk about my offer enough. Are you going to change that? Like, are you going to do something about it? I mean, don't get me wrong. If you can pay all your bills and your business don't make any money, who am I to tell you you're doing something wrong? But I believe that our businesses are an asset that exists to serve us. As such, those entities need to be profitable so they can pay us a salary. As such, the marketing and the sales have to happen. That's just straight line logic for me. So I always think it's interesting when I meet people who are like, I have an offer, it hasn't sold, but I barely talk about it. I never post about it. I never email about it. I've never run ads to it. I've never done anything to get it in front of more people. But Nat, can you help me? Open your mouth and talk about the offer. Like if you really think your offer changes people's lives, why wouldn't you want to talk about it? That's the part that gets me. See, I'm money driven, and I know people don't like that. People want me to be passion driven. People want me to be purpose driven. People want me to be heart centered. That's a good one. But I'm a money driven person. And so it's interesting when I meet people who are purpose driven and passion driven and heart centered who never market. It's like if you really cared as much about your people as you claim that you do, you would talk about this offer every chance that you got. Someone in your business, at least. It don't have to be you. Someone, your company would market every day. If you really gave a damn about your community, if you really thought that this offer changed their life, you would tell everybody you know. You would tell everybody because that's your thing. You would be like Jehovah's Witnesses. Jehovah's Witnesses want everybody to know about Jesus. Amen? They will go door to door. They not playing. Because they really believe that they are here to be able to serve and save lives and save souls. That's what they believe. You can't stop them from doing it. So if you really are heart-centered and you know it's people out there hurting and you know you got a solution that can help them, why wouldn't you want to talk about it all the time? Why wouldn't your company prioritize the marketing and selling of this offer if you really thought it was that great? I don't have an answer for that because that's something I've been up against for years, trying to figure out how people barely promote these offers that are supposed to be life-changing. I'll never forget this time I wanted to go to this retreat. I don't even like retreats. I was going to go to this retreat. I saw a post about it on Facebook and I meant to bookmark it and I forgot, and I never saw her market it again. I forgot about it. She ain't post about that damn retreat until the retreat happened. And she posted a picture of all of them at the retreat. And I was mad as hell. I'm like, really? Really? I wanted to go to that. Why didn't you message me? Why didn't you invite me? Why didn't you prospect me? Why didn't you post? Oh, if we didn't have that many people sign up for it, so I didn't promote it that much. No, you didn't promote it that much, and that's why you didn't have people sign up for it. I wanted to buy it. I just forgot, which is human nature to do. So why would you assume somebody's going to click and pay the very first time? Like, I never assume that. I never, ever assume that. For instance, you already know that I have a private podcast. You know that my private podcast is amazing. You know that it's 260 episodes. It's Monday through Friday, 5-minute episodes, and it's only $200. You know that I have a private podcast, but you've been meaning to buy it. And you haven't gotten around to going on my website to get the link. So that's why I'm putting the link in the comments for your ease of use right now. I don't assume that you don't want it just because you didn't buy it. You wanted it, you forgot, I got you. This isn't hard, but you'll never figure out if the offer is misaligned or if the positioning is misaligned or the price is misaligned if you don't have data. And you won't get data if you don't put yourself out there. You're going to have to get to the point where you feel comfortable enough putting something out there so that people can figure out what exactly is being sold. And if people are confused, that's a bad sign. Like, talk to your little nephew. You probably got a 12 or 13-year-old nephew. Explain your offer to him. If he can't figure out what it is, it's too complex. Like, you use all that industry jargon, don't nobody know what that is. You got to be really careful with like making stuff up that just sounds good to you. You are in business to serve clients. Ask your clients what they want. Ask your clients where they're struggling. Meet with people and have one-on-ones. Get inquisitive. Get curious. Most bad offers, most misaligned offers are built from a silo. We go insular and we decide this is the offer that's going to change people's lives. We don't ask nobody, we don't tell nobody, and we don't talk about it. And that's how you end up with some foolishness. If you really want to make sure that you have an offer that sells, you will sell it before you create it. If you really want to make sure you have an offer that sells, you will sell it before you create it. Let people vote with their dollars. Let people tell you they're interested. Let people put down a deposit. I'm not saying don't know what you're going to sell, but like new money, I know what we're going to do to a large degree. I know what my expertise is, but I'm having the focus group. I have two versions. I have a focus group, 2 different dates, and we're going to talk it out. I'm going to decide on the scope based on the focus group. I'm going to give everyone who attends the focus group a special rate. I'm going to open doors, close doors in December so we can kick off in January. We're going to have the offer. Hopefully we'll be able to work in an in-person component, still working through that. But long story short, we are going to ensure that we have adequate interest and money secured before coaching dates even go on the calendar. Like, I'm not building this and then selling it and then hoping that people buy it. No, we're going to sell it and then we're going to build it and then we're going to deliver it. And I think that works for a lot of programs. I think that a lot of times we think I need to have everything built out. But when you do that, you build something people don't want, or you build something in an order that people don't need. Almost every program that I've had that I tried to build beforehand, like my messaging mini minds, which sold really well. We had 3 cohorts. We had over 30 people go through it. Hundreds of thousands of dollars made, tens of thousands of new words written in terms of new copy. The very first iteration was not what people needed. So I ended up adding like 2 extra weeks onto that first cohort to try to sweep up what people actually wanted when they paid me the money. The second and third cohort went much smoother because by then I knew what people wanted. So I want you to beware of building stuff out and hoping that it sells. Like, there are some things you can do around that. All right, I'm about to head out. Please drop your your key takeaway down in the comments. What did you learn? And furthermore, what is one action you plan to take after listening to this? Because listening to me doesn't change your business. Listening to me doesn't change your life. You've got to take different action. So what is a different action that you plan to take based on today's training? Let me know, and I'll see you next time. Bye.